Question. How do you come out to hood-ass black people as non-binary? Like, for real, what do you even say? Because I've had this issue over and over again with or without hood black people, right? With everybody, right? Because I want to make it clear, first of all, I'm not trying to imply that hood black people are more homophobic or queerphobic or transphobic or ignorant to our existence than the rest of the world is, right? Nah. I'm talking about hood black people because I'm a hood black person, and because the people who I care to explain this shit to the most are hood-ass black people. The people who I want to have these conversations with the most are hood-ass black people. The people who I want to understand and see me the most are hood-ass black people. But this word, non-binary, that doesn't mean shit to these niggas. Like, what do you even say? Why is there not a black word for non-binary yet? That's what I want to ask. That's my second question. Why is there not language for this in AAVE? I've been having conversations with people, my other hood-ass, black-ass, non-binary friends, about how a lot of us are under the illusion that queerness and transness are white things, right? We've been queer since before we even got here. We've been queer and trans and fluid and non-binary since the beginnings of time. Like, this is not anything new at all. Our history has been erased and stolen. But yeah, this is not some white shit. And this connects directly to systemic racism as well. White people have not only robbed us of it culturally, right? Not only have they taken all of our knowledge on gender and sexuality that we been had, took it from us, and then reappropriated it later on so they could capitalize off of it, right? Not only did they do that, but they also rob us of it in education. Why is it that when I was in my hood-ass elementary schools, my hood-ass middle school, my hood-ass high schools, I was not learning queer theory and gender theory? Why the fuck is that? Why did I have to go on Tumblr to be taught this shit? Why did I have to go to college to be given access to this shit? Why did I get to college and all the white kids, even if they didn't completely understand, that they had heard of what it was to be non-binary before? They had heard of what it was to be trans before. They understood what a pronoun was and the need to change it for certain people, right? Why is it that they learned this shit? And then all the black people are like, you know, I'm trying to be respectful, but I just never heard of anything like this before. Like, you gotta be patient with me, right? And I understand. I feel them, right? I'm not even trying to come at them right now. I'm just saying, why is it that they didn't know? And why is it that I then have to sit here and go through all this labor with my own people who I just want to chill with, I just want to talk to, especially on this PWI, predominantly white institution of a campus, right? Why is it that I can't even just relax with my people and be in community and see eye to eye and be understood? Why did y'all cut us off from each other like that? Why didn't you teach them about me so that we could connect? Why do my people not know who I am? Why is it that the feminism that I was taught, right, in history class, the feminist movement, was all about white women, first and foremost, right? But secondly, all about women. Are women the only people? Are cis women, are cis white women the only people who are being victimized for their gender? Are cis white women the only people experiencing gender-based violence? Hell fucking no. Like, hell fucking no. Right? My black ass, my non-binary ass, is also experiencing that shit on a regular basis. And I'm experiencing it double time because not only am I black and is my gender already fucked in this world as a black person, right? And not only am I not allowed as a black person to pursue gender in these traditional ways that they've been taught that I should aspire to, right? Not only is that already mixed up for me, especially as a dark-skinned black person, right? Then to also be a person who was born with a vagina, right? So most people in this world see me as a woman, especially when they see these titties, okay? Then I have to experience the violence that women face, right? I have to experience being reduced to my body, not only as a trans person, but also as a woman. Or someone who's seen as a woman. Let me not misgender myself. Jesus Christ. Being reduced to my body, having my body seen as an object that can be handled, disregarded, commented on, all of this shit whenever some man decides it. And then on top of that, to be a person who is constantly trying to escape this shit because I'm like, I'm not a fucking woman, right? To be constantly trying to escape this shit and to find myself and to find words for myself in this world that has told me my whole life, well, there's only this or that, boy or girl, man or woman, right? And from the looks of it, you're a woman. But like I said in the beginning, I feel like I don't even know how to fight because I don't have the language for this shit. I'm tired of calling myself non-binary. Tired of being like, I'm non-binary, oh, what does that mean? Well, I'm not a man or a woman, I'm somewhere in between, or I've completely transcended that and I'm beyond, and people are just like, okay, I guess. I'm not a man or a woman, I'm so much more than that. But even that is not going to explain it to you niggas. Like, y'all... I don't fucking know. I don't know what to say anymore. Talk about some really controversial shit, too. Some shit that I think about really often. So like I was saying earlier, you know, a lot of us fall under the notion that these are white things. And to some extent they are, right? My camera's kind of... It's not even tilted right now because it fell and it's like off balance. Anyway. To some extent it is, which is like why I feel so uncomfortable with the word non-binary. This is something that was made up by white people. Not my existence, not my gender. That was not made up by white people. But the only way that I found access to that, to expressing my gender and putting it into words, is through words that white people have created. Until I did my own research on my ancestors, and the words that they had, right? And also, actually, I have a book in this pile right now. It's called Black on Both Sides, a racial history of trans people. So the intersection of blackness and trans identity throughout history. Haven't read it yet, but 10 out of 10 would recommend without even reading it. Like, give it a shot. But yeah, there's so much disconnection. And I feel like in the queer community, sadly, just like a lot of like alternative black groups, we can become really elitist. We can become really elitist and removed from our communities as we grow up because of the violence we experience in our communities and because of the feeling of not being understood, even without violence. Because of how we're erased, even if it's, I mean, that is violence, to erase somebody, to operate as if a certain group of people doesn't exist, to not mention them in everyday conversations when you speak, to not consider if they're around, to not give a fuck about making space for them. That's erasure. And that shit is violent. That shit hurts. It's isolating. And we're social people. We're a social species. We need each other, no matter how much niggas try to pretend we don't. Sometimes, as queer and trans people, we can become really exclusive, right? And there's a difference between exclusively hanging out with other queer and trans, black, hood-ass people, and shooting straight over to White Town. Like, I'm talking about niggas who do that shit. Them niggas be giving us a bad rep. And I have no excuse for it. Like, I see it, and I recognize the violence of it. That shit, you know, we grow up, we study all this queer theory, we run off to college to escape our homophobic and transphobic families. And by way of being in college, we move up the social ladder. And then we could look down on all them niggas from the hood, right? Not only because of however much they may have bullied us when we were younger, but also because according to the standards of society, we're not better than them. We're educated. We got these degrees, or even just to be able to say that you went to college. Like, I dropped out. I did 2 years in a 4-year college, so I didn't get no degree. And, you know, prime example, when I'm applying to jobs, they give me the option to say some college. I don't have to say, oh, I have an associate's, I have a bachelor's degree. Them niggas are excited that I even went for as long as I did. That is part of my personal experience. That is something that I've seen happen within myself, right? This, like, need to cancel people. And it's like, okay, like, yes, people can Google this shit, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna understand it, right? Because, like I said, this language is still so inaccessible. Queer theory, queer academia, mad fucking inaccessible, even to my gay ass. Like, I fucking hate academia. This is part of the reason that I dropped out of college. I'm tired of these elitist motherfuckers. I'm tired of them always performing with how they speak and write. I already don't want to be reading this shit, and you have the audacity to use all these big ass words. Like, are you trying to educate me, or are you trying to impress me? Because you're not fucking impressing me. You're just blowing mine. Like, I saw the title. I thought this was going to be great. I thought I was going to learn so much. And I literally had to reread the first page 5 times. I can't even move through the reading, my nigga. Right? But yeah, even outside of academia, even on these little articles on Google, even in these educational videos, it's like, it's so hard to explain this to people. Like, this specifically. There's so many things that we tell people to Google, and it's just like, fuck you, because I'm still not gonna understand. But also this, like, even as a non-binary person, it took me so long to understand myself. Like, to grow up between these two worlds, and to be told that you can only pick one, and then for someone to turn your attention away from this side or that side and tell you to just look straight ahead, and like, there's a door there that you can go through, and you're just like, what the fuck is over there? Like, and then for niggas to then have the audacity to tell you, oh, there's nothing over there. You're free to make it whatever you want to. Excuse me? Like, they used to script the shit out for me. What am I supposed to do now? Fuck you mean I'm free? I don't want to be free. I had a whole big ass group of friends that I loved to death. I still love them. Like, let's not say it in past tense. I love them niggas. But yeah, we was all together my freshman year, like my second semester of my freshman year of college. All people from the hood, predominantly a black group, great vibes, so much laughter, so much love, drugs. But those were my niggas. They still are. But they didn't understand me. I came into that friend group knowing that I had the responsibility of coming out to them. And, you know, I took it slow because I was like, I'm not about to sit here and stress myself out explaining myself to y'all if I don't even know if it's gonna last, right? But after a few weeks, up to a month, I started just coming out to all of them. I came out to them one by one. I feel like it would have been easier to just do it like with all of them at once, and maybe it actually would have been better, but I like wanted to challenge myself. Nobody was rude, but so often the response I get from people when I come out to them is like no response at all, because they just don't get it. They're just like, oh, okay. And like there's fear, like they kind of want to pretend that they get it because they don't want to offend me by asking questions. But I don't know, part of me wishes people would ask questions, and part of me wishes that they would just go find the answers themselves, because I'm so tired of explaining. But then it's like that's my duty, because I feel like, or rather I'm not even going to say I feel like, I know that who I am is like inaccessible to my people. Like, how fucked up is that? It's like I'm a walking embodiment of elitism. Like, I've been kept from my people. Shit is crazy. So much so that they're scared of me. Like, legit scared of me, don't know what to say, don't know how to act around me. I actually had them in that friend group tell me that a few times, like, that they're scared to interact with me, they're scared to talk to me, because they don't want to misgender me and offend me. And it's like, I understand, like, I hear you, but I just, like, why does it have to be this hard? And it's not my fault or your fault, but it's just hard. It's hard, and it hurts me. Like, you're scared and I'm hurt, and it's just like, but I love you. Like, why? Why? Shit is the worst. They wanted us to live together the next year, and I was down with it at first, but the more I thought about it, I was like, I can't do that. I can't live with y'all when you don't see me for who I am completely, and when you're constantly gonna be inviting people over who don't see me for who I am, and I'm constantly gonna have to be coming out and explaining myself in the safety of my home where I'm just trying to chill with my friends who I'm just trying to chill with, but who I can't even really chill with. Like, everything like that, it was already so hard to be their friends, and I didn't want to cut them off. Like, it was never that, but the next step of living with them, I was not ready for that shit, and it really offended them, and it turned into a whole, like, it created so much tension and a huge, like, argument and falling out, and it was just so messy, but it had to happen. And then one of my high school friends, the same thing happened with her, like, a few months later. I want to be a teacher, and definitely not in the traditional way. Like, I'm actually applying to so many jobs right now, trying to escape my customer service job, to work like in after schools with children, like teaching them art and stuff. But for real, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a radical teacher. I want to be a revolutionary teacher. I want to be a hood-ass teacher. I want to be a teacher who speaks in my own language. Like, I don't want to be out here trying to speak standard American English to my fucking students. I'm tired of being fake. Like, I'm so tired of performing for white America. Aren't you? Like, wouldn't you agree? I'm tired of this shit. I just want to be myself. We come from Black American ass communities. We don't talk like that. Like, I'm tired of talking like that. Literally, that shit fucked me up so much in college. Like, I just felt so fake because I became so aware of how much I code switched, to the point where there was times where I was asking myself, like if my AAVE, if my African American Vernacular English, which is, even in itself, that is such an academic term. Like, this is how Black people speak. Like, I don't need to call it any fucking way. And I got to a point where I was wondering, like, am I performing my Blackness? Because I was around a lot of people who were performing their Blackness. You know, a lot of people come to college and discover that they're Black, and, you know, they feel the need to say nigga in every sentence and shit, and they pick up all of their Black slang off the internet, just like these white people, and they think we can't tell. It was just like a cultural shock, I guess, in some form. Like, but at the end of the day, when I get back around my family, my mother, my brother, when I'm speaking to my grandma, when I'm at the deli, at the corner store, when I'm outside talking to people in the hood, the shit comes right back. Like, it's not an issue. It's not even a switch. It's just my nature. And I'm so glad that being out of college, I am sticking to that more than anything. Like, just being back in the city. I'm so glad the further I get from this performativity that I've been taught. I'm so glad to escape performance. And gender is such a big part of that as well. Because gender is a performance. Whether or not y'all know it, gender is not about what's in your pants, right? They try to make it seem like it's about that. They try to use what's in your pants to tell you how you need to act, how you need to perform. And you're conditioned into that from the moment you're born. Literally, before you can even understand it or what it means. If you ever understand it or what it means, especially if you're cisgendered, you probably don't even ask yourself what gender really is, and what the point of it is, and if it's even real, and why it was made, and how it's affecting you and limiting you, or even setting you free. You probably don't even ask these questions, do you? I'm sorry if school traumatized you. It traumatized me too. But we gotta do better. We have to still pursue knowledge. We have to still pursue higher consciousness. We just gotta do it in a different way. We gotta do it in a Black, radical ass way. And nothing less.